Baseball Mysteries, Foul and Fair. It was a week full of visitors. First, Rookie's mom's mother, Vovalee, and her father, Grampsy, arrived for a visit. Then Rookie's friend Robert, who'd moved to Germany, came back to town for a visit. And then an out-of-state Little League team called the Magpies, taking a bus tour for their spring break, asked to play games against local teams. Many players from the other teams in Rookie's league were on vacation, so Coach said his Red Sox would be happy to play 2 practice games with them. When Coach's own family decided to travel for the holiday too, he asked Pops to coach in his place. Pops agreed, but then later was required to travel out of town for his job, and he asked Grampsy to coach in his place. Rookie was glad for the upcoming games. He'd never played against guys he didn't know at least a little, and it would give him a chance to start learning skills beyond the technical aspects of baseball. Pops had told him that he'd find that mental preparation and a mind focused only on the game were more important than catching fly balls and fielding grounders. Pops said that as a boy himself, he'd played against some opposing teams that thought the rules of baseball were just suggestions and easily pushed aside. Those teams often try to rattle and distract you with things they said and did. So, Rookie thought, I'll learn a thing or two and avoid being bored over this holiday. Rookie's town had been living under a heat wave and a drought that spring, making the field as hard as rock. Ground balls in last week's game had come faster than any'd ever seen, and in last week's game, one hit a stone and bounded right over his head. For the first 2 days of Robert's visit, Rookie tried to bring his baseball skills up to speed, but he still worried every time he hit a grounder that it would take a bad bounce and hit Robert in the face. Happily, he proved to be a quick study, and Robert progressed so fast that he could substitute for the Sox third baseman, who was away on vacation. The day of the first game, Rookie stuck with his normal routine of walking down to the field an hour ahead of time. He took Robert, met his friends BR and Rodney there, and they did some pregame warm-ups on fly balls, grounders, throwing, and sliding. Grampsy said he'd come along later, bring the bases and other equipment, and Vovalee would join him to help and cheer on the Sox. Mom was off an umpire, but couldn't do it this week, but she was teaching English to some immigrants. Grampsy said he'd handle it by asking the visiting team to have their coach, the assistant coach that is, be the umpire. Before the game started, Grampsy told both teams to form into lines, walk alongside each other, and shake hands. Everyone seemed friendly, but maybe a little wary of the others. When the umpire called out, "Play ball!" the Red Sox took the field first, being home team. Willie was on the pitcher's mound, Robert on third base, BR at shortstop, Rookie at second, and Rodney at first. The first batter on the Magpie side popped up to the catcher. The second squibbed away a ground ball to Willie, but the third batter, he was a lefty. He smashed a line drive between Rookie and Rodney and into right field for a single. The next batter grounded to BR. He fielded it cleanly and tossed it to Rookie for the force out at second base. In the bottom of the first inning, Willie was first up, and he took a walk. The second batter struck out, and then Rodney was up. He smacked a hard ground ball to the third baseman, who bobbled it, but got a throw off to second base to try to force out Willie. It looked like Willie arrived ahead of the ball, but the base wasn't there, where it should have been. It was a step toward left center field, and it was hidden behind the second baseman, who was covering. When the throw arrived, the second baseman just tagged Willie, who was standing motionless, looking for the base. "You're out," the umpire called. Grampsy yelled out as he jogged on the field. "What was that? The runner arrived first. How could the base get over there? Who moved it? I secured that base's belt to the metal spike not a half hour ago. Why did it move?" He asked the shortstop, "Did you move it?" The Magpies coach ran out too. "Hey, "Don't make accusations," he demanded. "My boy doesn't know what happened to that base. It's your job to secure it." "Well, I did. I double-checked the buckle, and I kicked it for good measure. It was solid." "What's going on here?" Gramps asked, knowing the only answer was that somebody had done something improper. "Well, let's just consider this one of the mysteries of baseball," the Magpies coach said definitively, "and we'll get on with the game as soon as you secure it properly." "But this Sox player was called out because the base was moved," Gramps complained. "Well, like I said, there are many, many mysteries in baseball, and we just have to deal with them. Remember, there's only one umpire, and he called the runner out." Gramps was the host for the visitors, and he decided to let it go. "This is only a game," he thought, "but I hope this is the last incident. This is very unpleasant." BR was up next, and the first pitch was far outside for a ball. Next he swung and missed and thought to himself, "I'm not letting that unfair call rattle me, am I?" Then came chatter from the Magpies infield. "Let's go, Magpies! Clean house on the crybabies! Clean house on the crybabies!" BR swung for the fences on the next pitch, but he missed, and he decided to stand back from the batter's box. He took a deep breath and pounded his bat on the ground. The Magpies' chatter changed. Now it was, "Clean the dry babies, clean the dry babies." The next pitch was high, bringing the count to 2-2. Then a lovely meatball floated in, and BR smashed it to left field. Rodney was all the way to the second base, and BR almost to first, when the umpire cried, "Foul ball!" Gramps called out from the Sox bench, "Foul? That was fair by 10 feet. He was headed out to talk to the umpire when the Magpies coach jogged around the plate and said, "Hey, look now. It's another one of baseball's mysteries that two people can look at something and see it differently. But remember, sir, there's only one umpire. BR returned to the batter's box, still breathing hard from his dash down the baseline. "Stay calm, stay cool," he told himself. The Magpie chatter continued. This time was simply, cry babies, put 'em to bed." The next pitch was a ball. Then came a high, hard fastball. BR nailed it, but straight into the pitcher's glove, where it landed with a loud pop. Very unsatisfied with himself, BR returned to the bench. The next batter struck out, and the first inning ended 0-0. Willie walked the next batter in the top of the second inning, and Rookie tried to settle him down with his chatter. "Easy does it. Let him hit. You've got good fielders behind you." The very next pitch was a hard ground ball towards second. BR ran to cover second base. Rookie darted toward the ball, stuck his glove out, but the ball jumped right over it into center field. Fortunately, the center fielder charged it and held the runner at second. Now it was 2 on and no outs. Okay, let's get the force at third," Rookie called out. In part, he called it to console himself for missing the chance to get the force at second, but mainly to remind Robert that he had to cover the base at third. The next batter hit a line drive to right center field. The runner from second rounded third and headed for home. Robert had never played a game before and assumed that all the action would be at home plate, so he simply stood back from the base path and watched. But the runner from first base rounded second and was on his way to third when he took a full step out of his way and blindsided Robert. Hitting him with his shoulder, he knocked him down, and he took third base. Robert didn't move. Vovoli and Gramps scrambled from the bench and ran to help. They kept him on the ground until his eyes cleared, until he knew his own name and until he was certain he could stand. The umpire walked slowly over, and Gramsci said, "This game is over. I've never seen such conduct. If the Magpies don't discipline that runner, they should be ashamed of themselves." The umpire simply threw out his hands and said, "Game over. The Magpies runner scored before the time of this unfortunate accident, and I declare Magpies are the winners." All the Red Sox players gathered around Robert while Vovalee and Gramsci prepared to take him to the hospital to check for a concussion. The Magpies, for their part, they went to their bench, made a huddle, and cheered, "We rock, we rock, we rock the Sox! We rock, we rock, we rock the Sox!" There was no sign at all of empathy or any kind of a cheer at all for the Red Sox. Shortly after they all arrived at the emergency room, the doctors declared Robert did not have a concussion. He just needed to take it easy overnight, and he'd be perfectly fine in the morning. The car ride home was gloomy, with the conversation all centered on the Magpies' poor sportsmanship. Those kind of conversations continued through dinner as well. Gramsci was still fuming, and he turned to Vovalee, saying, "I'd like to help that Magpie coach solve a mystery or two." Mom interjected, "I can see you guys are rattled, but I encourage you to play fair and follow the rules, regardless of the other team's behavior. I'm sure Pops would say you should adhere to the highest standards of sportsmanship no matter what. But I'm also sure he'd say you should make use of what you've learned. Watch out for those bad actors and defend yourselves." "Yes, and by all means be safe," Vovalee added. "It's only a game, you know, so try to keep it fun." As they were washing up before bed, Rookie asked Leo if he had any advice. Leo said, "I've never experienced a situation exactly like this before, but I see you have many choices. You could yell, cry, and feel sorry for yourself. You could also walk away and refuse to play with him. But those things, those actions, they aren't strong or noble. You could decide to hurt the Magpies more than they hurt you, but that would turn the Sox into the bad guys. I'm in favor of a parallel and proportional response. Find the answer that's both fair and satisfying." Rookie then asked what specific thing Leo thought he should do, and he received a shrug in return. Rookie was troubled when he put his head on his pillow and wondered for half the night about what he should do with all the advice he'd heard that afternoon. He couldn't talk to Robert. Robert was no help because he was sound asleep in the next bed. The following morning, Rookie and Robert just messed around. First they played chess, then they worked on a big Lego scenario, then they played some wiffle ball in the park nearby. After lunch, it was time to head to the field for pre-game practice, and Leo said he'd walk down with him. Before the game started, the Magpies coach asked Gramsci if Robert was okay. In return, he received a cool nod. But he acted like other people's feelings or views of the situation didn't interest him in the least. Gramsci gathered his players and told them to put yesterday's game behind them, and to remember that showing that good sportsmanship was way more important than winning. They should play their best, but be cautious since the Magpies' understanding about just how baseball should be played seemed to be very different from their own. Gramsci chose Willie to pitch and told Rodney to play first base. All the other players stayed in the same positions. The game got off to a fast start, but not the one the Red Sox were hoping for. Willie wasn't as experienced and confident a pitcher as Rodney, and his speed was a big notch slower. The first batter belted a double to left center, and the second batter scored him with a Texas League single over BR's head. With one run in, a run out, and no outs, the Sox now had to play their best just to keep in the game. Rookie started some chatter. Whiff him, Willie, strike out the side. His reward was a slow-moving round ball that barely got past the pitcher's mound. Rookie charged it, turned, and tossed it toward BR, who was covering second. But BR didn't catch it. The runner from first base had come in sliding with steel spikes aimed right at BR's face. The umpire waved his hands outward and called the runner safe. Hey, sliding with spikes up is against the rules. What do you say, ump? He should be out. And his spikes should be rubber. It's league rules. Gramsci jogged out to talk with the umpire, but the umpire refused to talk to him, and he returned to the bench, disgusted. The call stands, the umpire announced firmly to both benches. There was a run on. There was a run in. Still no outs, and now 2 runners on base. The next batter looped a short fly ball, and the center fielder caught it. Finally, Ricky thought, let's keep this going in the right direction. But the next batter smacked a ground ball between third and short. Neither BR nor Robert could reach it, and a run scored. Red Sox morale sank, and Rookie set out to bolster it with more chatter. Get this guy! Come on, Willie! The next batter swung and sent another ground ball between third and short. This time, BR picked it up on a big bounce, rifled it to Rookie covering second, and his sidearm throw to first sealed the double play. Or did it? The runner intentionally knocked down the first baseman. Did he drop the ball? The umpire took a step closer to see, and when he did, Rodney rolled over with a big grin on his face, his hand tightly pressing the ball in the web of his mitt. Finally, the Sox could bat. When the Magpies had finished warming up for the bottom of the second inning, the umpire called out to both benches, I'm shortening this game to 2 innings, the same as yesterday. This will be the last at-bat. Gramsci was outraged and called, Why are you doing this? The Magpies coach yelled from his bench, What's the matter? It shouldn't be a mystery that the umpire calls the shots. That further outraged Gramsci, but he kept his cool. More tricks to upset us and beat us, he thought. I should have expected it. But the Magpies were up by 2, and the Sox had only 1 more at-bat. So he gave a pep talk to the full team on the bench. Give it your best, guys. You can make back those 2 runs and more. Send them home knowing they played a superior team. Superior in every way. Robert was the first up, and as he came to the plate, the Magpies coach sent his outfielders far back. Robert swung and missed the first 2 pitches, but the last 4 were wild, and he walked. Rodney was up next. Knowing he represented the tying run, and the Magpies coach sent the outfielders even farther back. Then the pitcher threw a brushback, almost hitting Rodney's helmet. He fell as he spun to avoid the pitch. The Magpie infield now started chanting, First they're babies, now they're chickens, 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 chickens. Neither Gramsci nor any of the Red Sox could believe that a team would stoop so low with such chatter. This wasn't chatter at all. It was venomous language intended to hurt. The next pitch was ball 2. The pitcher must have started worrying about a second walk, because his next pitch was thrown nice and easy, as though he were playing a game of catch. Ping! Rodney's aluminum bat sent the ball into right field, and it dropped in for a hit because the fielder was playing so far back. But with 2 runners now on base, all the fielders stayed back. It was Rookie's turn, and as he walked to the plate, Leo walked past the Sox bench and whispered, Let's hope for a surprise, before he climbed to the top of the bleachers. 4 rows beneath him, Vovali started chanting, "Show 'em you're a pro, rookie, show 'em you're a pro." Rodney picked it up from first base, then Robert from second, then the whole bench started the same chanting. Rookie was on the spot. "Now I gotta deliver," he thought. A pitch came low inside, the same type of pitch he'd blasted when he broke the bat that had been doctored by Robo. But he popped it up in foul territory, and the third baseman almost snagged it. He thought, there's a good reason to swing only at pitches in the strike zone. His confidence flagged, so he stepped out of the batter's box and surveyed the field as he took a deep, cleansing breath. A change-up. Yes, one was now coming in. Slow, he thought, and on the outside of the plate, too. Rookie took a half step back with his right foot and sent the ball sailing into right field with a vicious swing. He started his dash to first place and could see its trajectory, but the right fielder was so far back, he was afraid he'd likely reach it. Now, if you were looking at Vovali at the same moment, you would have seen her do a double take. In fact, Rookie and almost everybody on the field did a double take. Now there were 2 balls flying into right field, one shorter and toward the foul line, and the other longer and towards center. The right fielder didn't know what to do. He threw out his arms and yelled, "Wah, wah, yai, yai!" Confused what to do, he shook his head and chose to go for the closer, the one near the foul line. He was fast, really fast, and his sprint ended with his glove out and a huge lunge that left him airborne for seconds. He skidded to a stop, rose to his knees, and looked around perplexed. No ball in his glove. No ball on the ground. There was a ball the center fielder was now chasing down in right center. It rolled fast, faster than he ran, and it rolled long on the dry, hard ground. Because there were no outs, both Rodney and Robert held their positions a few steps off base until they were certain the hit had not been caught. Now they ran. The center fielder ran. But that hard-packed dirt seemed to make the ball gain ground faster than he would catch up to it. Who knew that the drought was now Rookie's friend? Robert crossed the plate as Rookie approached second. Rodney tagged the plate as Rookie approached third. BR was coaching third and waved Rookie toward home. Rookie charged toward the catcher with everything he had, and the catcher spotted him coming. He also saw his own second baseman cut off the center fielder's throw and initiate his own throw to the plate. Rookie was coming closer. Both the ball and Rookie would arrive at the same moment. The catcher knew that if Rookie were one of his own teammates, he'd be knocked flat. That was how their own coach taught them. Win, win, whatever you do, win. The catcher saw Rookie coming but tried to keep his eye on the incoming throw. The ball arrived but bounced over his glove. What happened? He hadn't been walloped. He was still standing. Why? He asked himself. Rookie had come in with a hook slide. Catcher was glad he was still in one piece, but the Red Sox had won 3-2. The Sox bench erupted in cheers, but within seconds both teams and all the onlookers were abuzz. What happened? Where did that second ball come from? Was it an illusion? Or was it real? Sure glad I wasn't the right fielder. They said a lot more, but that was the gist of it. The Magpie coach charged towards the Sox bench. Gramsci stood ready with his hands at his side. He was holding his ground, and there was not a wisp of fear or even concern on his face. On the contrary, he seemed to welcome a confrontation. The visiting coach stopped abruptly before coming within an arm's length of Gramsci. But he didn't stop his mouth. "This is outrageous," he screamed. This is your field. You can't interfere like that. I have no idea what that thing was, but I know it's unsportsmanlike conduct. So what was it? What was that projectile? Where did that ball come from, and where did it go?" He demanded all this feverishly while flapping his elbows like a real magpie. Gramps looked the guy up and down, pursed his lips, and then calmly said, "I'm afraid it's just one more baseball mystery." Then he turned his back and walked to the Sox bench. On the bleachers behind the bench, Leo sat with his elbows on his knees and his hands clasped under his chin. Gramps spotted him climb the seats like stairs and stood smiling. "I'm dying to know, Leo, but let's not talk about it here." When the four arrived back at the house, Mom was at the door and said, "Well, you all look pretty cheerful. How'd you do against the Nasty Boys today?" Rookie blurted out, "We won 3-2, and I hit another homer." Although if Pops had been scoring the game, he might not have entered it into the official record book. Mom replied, "There must be a story behind that. Spit it out, kiddo." Gramps looked at Ricky and at Mom and said, "I'm dying to know that answer too, but..." Then looking to his left, he said, "I think Leo is best positioned to tell us. Okay, boy, time for true confessions." Leo gave a big, teeth-clenched, toothy Cheshire cat smile with his eyes open super wide. "I guess I can tell everyone now, but for starters, remember that today's game was not an official league game. It was just a hospitality practice game. You know, too, that Rookie's opponents were not the kind of sportsmen we're accustomed to playing against, and..." Yeah, get on with it, boyo," Mom said as she waved her hand in a circle. "Okay, well, I had just finished an invention I thought might allow the Red Sox to level the playing field against the Magpies without having to resort to roughness." Leo gave his audience the same toothy grin, and he continued, "So I gathered a few images to use with my new instrument and applied it to a worthy cause in a timely way, and..." "So far, you're getting straight A's for not getting to the point," Mom said sternly. "Please proceed with the story." Okay, Leo answered. "My new invention is a portable hologram projector. It can project 3D images onto the air's microscopic water droplets and dust. The holograms it projects are very realistic. They're hard to differentiate from real objects. You think you can touch them, but when you try, you touch only air." While the others chuckled, Vovoli asked, "Leo, what made you think such a device would do anything for the Red Sox?" "Well, Vovoli, I wasn't sure myself, so early this morning I prepared alternative images I could possibly use if the time were right. First I recorded scenes off the internet that might distract the nasty guys at critical times. One was a gorilla charging, and another was a spaceship landing. But I decided those were too obvious to trick anyone for more than a few seconds. Then I looked for a way to distract the Magpie's pitcher and perhaps cause him to walk one of the Red Sox at a critical moment. For that I copied a video of a cute little gopher popping its head out of a hole." Everyone smiled, and he continued, "And then I went and watched Rookie practice with his friends before the game. That gave me the chance to record what might prove to be more useful stuff, I thought. You know, things like a player running directly at you. If I could project that at just the right moment in the right place, I could confuse an infielder trying to execute a double play or trying to tag a runner sliding into a base. The fielder wouldn't know which to tag. And that's when the idea hit me. Why not record a fly ball? The only reason not to do it was safety. I didn't want anyone to get hurt. Say, if a fielder thought two balls were coming right at him, He could choose to catch the hologram and let the real ball hit him in the head. I didn't want that. So I set my plan. Make a fielder choose between two balls, one near him and one very far away. And that's what you did? Mom asked. Yep, Leo said. And it worked perfectly. Yeah, it was fantastic, Rookie cried. Mom wasn't so fully satisfied and said, I'm not sure you lived up to Pop's most important rule. Always treat a person like you'd want to be treated yourself. I know, Leo said, but it does match something else, he says. Get the job done. And, Rookie added, it ties perfectly with what I once heard him say. He who laughs last laughs best. And that is the end.